Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another amazing episode of League of Primos weekly review. That's right, we're back at you with another Lopwar Thanksgiving edition. That was stupid. Anyway, we're going to go over the games from last week, go over the playoff pictures, some rankings, and then we're going to go over the torture wheel. So without further ado, let's get into this week's Lopwar. And seriously, I shouldn't do that turkey thing again. All right, going over the games from last week. The first game we got is the I Put the Trash in Trash Pandas versus the I Paid My Taxes. A lot of I's there. I Paid My Taxes put up over 110 points for the first time in a long time on the back of 25.7 from Puka Nacua and 33.4 from Jalen Waddle. However, this new and improved artist formerly known as the Cleese Jumpty Dumpties, the I Put the Trash in Trash Pandas get 28.76 from Mahomes, 28.2 from McLaurin, and 35.2 from Jordan Addison, and win their inaugural game 148.66 to 113.8, with very big playoff implications on the line there. After that, we have the Red Lobster Cheddar Biscuits versus the Hogwarts Wizards. This game was important for Red Lobster to stay in the playoff picture. Coming into the week, he had the tiebreakers for some of the remaining playoff spots, so you think that he would go as hard as he could, put in all the effort, until he started Joe Burrow this week, who was on a bye. Bold strategy, Cotton. That one did not plan out. All to Dark Christian's dismay, because Allison, who is looking to get into the first seed, needs a win here and hopes that Christian loses. Allison got 26.9 from Aaron Jones, 17.5 from Nebraska legend Amir Abdullah, who, yes, Amir Abdullah is still in the league if you didn't know it. 30.3 from McBride, 27.1 from Jacoby Myers, winning the game and inching her way up to the first seed, 158.06 to 97.3. And the next one is going to be El Hamburglers versus the Teyvat Tanks. El Hamburglar is another team looking to inch the way up for a number one seed, stringing together some wins to get there. And what a perfect time to try and get that with playing Bot. Bot did get 32.4 from Jalen Daniels, but that was the only person for him that did about anything. El Hamburglar got 26.1 from Sam Darnold. Who's James Darnold? Sam Darnold, 20 points from Cooper Kupp, thanks to a garbage time touchdown against the Eagles. And 28.9 from Tony Pollard, winning this one 150.6 to 94.7. After that, we have the Big Tree City Big Bears versus the Bin Laden Bombers. Yeah, this one wasn't even close. The Big Bears only had one person over 20 points, which was Lamar Jackson for 22.58. But Bin Laden coming in hot, and this team was just a ticking time bomb ready to explode this week. 21.0 from Derrick Henry, 20.2 from Nico Collins, 27.1 from Bucky Irvin. But, I mean, coming in with a whopping 62 points this week, Saquon Barkley. 302 scrimmage yards and 2 rushing touchdowns of 70 or more yards this past week. Have a day, Saquon Barkley, and eat your heart out, Giants. Next game, we have Lauren's Optimum Team versus Kevin's Awesome Team. This one was a real nail-biter. This game came down to the end. Lauren is looking to keep those playoff hopes alive. Kevin is trying to get higher seeding and stay in the middle of the pack there. The game was decided by less than 5 points this week. So very, very close one. Lauren got 31.9 from DJ Moore and only had one other person score 15 points. And then had two people who scored 0 points for her, so she was playing with the uphill slope there. Kevin had 33.48 from Tua, 20.6 from A-Chain, and added another 12.8 from Westbrook Akine. However, this was just not enough because Lauren edging this one out 128.02 to 123.48, keeping those playoff hopes alive. And again, another win streak for Lauren. We then have Branditos Banditos versus the Abe Lincoln Rusty Trombones. Decent game all around. Brandito got 11.8 from Mike Evans, 29.7 from Cortland Sutton, and 15.6 from Michael Pittman Jr. Abe Lincoln decided he was going to go with the play both of my receivers who are on a bye this week strategy, and this is definitely one of the strategies of all time. However, it did pay off this week. He won 130.18 to 108.76 off the backs from 24.9 from Jahmyr Gibbs, 23.4 from Hawkinson, 23.6 from Keenan Allen, and 19 points from the Seattle defense and special teams this week. What a great game. And you'll see how that shakes up those playoff picture there. The playoff picture there. Words good do know well. And this gets us into our final game, the game of the week. The Jack Sparrow tight ends versus Kevin James Hot. And, we have the hottest team in Kevin James scoring high each week versus the number 1 overall team coming into the week. Dark Christian needs to win to keep him in the 1 seed with Allison just breathing down his neck, waiting for him to slip. And apparently that did not matter to him this week. He only had one person score over 15 points, and that was Nick Chubb with 19. To cap it off, he started the Rams defense, who was the 25th defense ranked against the rush coming into the week, and started that defense against the number 1 rushing offense in the Philadelphia Eagles. And as you heard how Saquon did earlier, that did not pay off for them. 255 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns to go with it. Does not help you there. That was mirrored because the Rams defense got -7 points for him this week. -7 points. Absolutely ridiculous. Pair that up with Kevin James Hot, who is absolutely hot when it comes to scoring. Another 170 plus week this week. 35.6 from Josh Jacobs, 27.9 from A.J. Brown, 19.7 from Smith and Jigba, 18 from the Houston defense, and then 16 from Cameron Dicker, the kicker. Kevin James Hot staying hot, winning 173.86 to 76.06, and almost a 100-point blowout, almost back-to-back weeks with a 100-point blowout there for Kevin James Hot. Say hello to Brooklyn. We'll see how that loss shakes off the playoff picture. Ooh, a cute sweater.
It's a cardigan.
Pull over! No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing.
That's going to get us into our highest score of the week. That's going to be White Christian with a 177.12. Getting hot at the right time. He has the 2 highest scoring running backs in the league with Saquon and Derrick Henry. If he makes the playoffs, he could be a team to deal with and watch out for. He could, with the 2 best running backs, make a solid case to be a dark horse going in. I reached out to him about his performance this week. It says probably the most animated responses I've ever gotten from somebody. He said, and I quote, "I like to give a special thank you to Saquon Barkley. Just an absolute GOAT and a menace of a person. He really showed the world who has the biggest in the entire NFL, and that the Giants are a poverty franchise. I'm convinced there's nothing this man can do. That includes getting me pregnant. Absolutely just a beast on the field and can clap my cheeks anytime. Just like he's clapping every one of these teams in the league. 6-6. I'll see you boys in the playoffs." That was a lot of words, man. But a great week from him nonetheless. So how about we play some music for him? After that, we have the lowest score of the week. And the lowest score goes to yin and yang there because we got Dark Christian for the lowest score. Not the best time for the highest seed going into the week to become a 3rd-rate duelist with a 4th-rate deck and throw up a stinker so bad it makes Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark look like a Tony-winning masterpiece. Regardless, I reached out to him about his performance, or I guess lack thereof, this week. And he said to me, there's good weeks and bad weeks, and then there's this week. I just hope this clears out bad juju before the playoffs. And sadly with that, we also play some music.
How bad can I be? I'm just doing what comes naturally. How bad can I be? I'm just following my destiny. How bad can I be? I'm just doing what comes naturally. How bad can I be? How bad can I possibly be?
This gets us into our power rankings this week. Again, 14-1. Let's just run down at 14, Branditos Banditos. 13, I Pay My Taxes. 12, Tevat Tanks. 11, Big Tree City Big Bears. At 10, Lawrence Optimum Team finally breaking the top 10 this week. At number 9, I Put the Trash in Trash Pandas, getting back into single digits for the first time in a while. At number 8, we have the Red Lobster Cheddar Biscuits. 7, Kevin's Awesome Team. 6, Abe Lincoln's Rusty Trombone. 5, Bin Laden's Bombers, which incredible story there. Bin Laden's Bombers started at number 13 to start the season, the second to last team, and is at number 5, which is absolutely incredible. At number 4, we have Kevin James Hot. 3, Jack Sparrow's tight ends, which, I guess makes zero sense to me considering they just played head-to-head and lost by 100. I guess they really do put a lot of thought into the record there. Who knows? But at number 3 is Jack Sparrow. Number 2, we have El Hamburglar, and then, yes, Allison stays winning again at the 1 ranking there. So that's going to get us into our playoff pictures. So how about we go over those, shall we? We had a good deal shaking up this week from all the wins, all the losses, all the heartbreak, all the triumph of this last week. So let's go over the playoffs, how they'd be if the season were to end now. The 5 seed Bin Laden Bombers would be against the 4 seed Kevin James Hot. A battle of the 2 highest scores from the past 2 weeks. At number 6, Kevin's Awesome Team versus Jack Sparrow's tight ends. Kevin's lost to Lauren, and then the blowout loss for Christian bounced him back 2 seeds. Then we have 7 Abe Lincoln Rusty Trombones versus 2 El Hamburglar. And then that's right, Allison snatching the number 1 seed and has a 1-game lead on the 2nd seed with 2 weeks left to play. That means with an Allison win here and a loss from El Hamburglar and from Christian, Allison this week could potentially clinch the number 1 overall seed for the entire league, which would just, be huge for her to already get that. Wouldn't have to worry about next week at all. It would just be her, sitting on top of the world. If she loses, she loses. Could hurt somebody's chances. Could say, I want this person to win. Who knows? It could be interesting there. She controls her own destiny as long as she wins out, so it doesn't really matter. And see here. The lowest seed is Abe Lincoln at 66, and Kevin and Bin Laden are also... Bin Laden's Bombers, not actual Bin Laden. He's not in the league, I promise. Also tied at 6-6. So wins at this point mean everything for those teams because you have 3 teams who are 5-7, 1 game back, looking to hop them on maybe some tiebreakers, maybe some heartbreak there. You have the Trash Pandas, the Cheddar Biscuits, and Lauren's Optimum team who are looking to steal one of those spots from them if one of the teams up top slip. So really, it's anyone's league, anyone's time. However, it is not everyone's game for 2 teams because that is right. We have the first 2 teams to be officially eliminated from playoff contention. I pay my taxes and Branditos Banditos are officially eliminated, so let's play them a nice goodbye song.
Hey, this was really fun.
We hope you liked it too.
Seems like we've just begun when suddenly we're through. Goodbye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye. 'Cause now it's time to go. But hey, I say, well, that's okay.
'Cause we'll see you very soon, I know.
Very soon, I know. Goodbye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye.
Goodbye.
And tomorrow, just like today, the moon, the bear, and the big blue house will be waiting for you to come and play. To come and play. To come and play. Bye now.
And I also forgot to mention, a little post edit here, is that Kevin James Hot and Dylan and El Hamburglars Daniel both clinched their playoff spots this week. So again, fighting for seeding, but are in. So there's 4 out of these 7 have already been clinched. So it's really a fight for those last 3. So that's important. But hey, they go into the consolation brackets. And remember that even though you're out of the playoff contention, you do not need to stop trying. The winner of the consolation bracket gets next year's first overall pick. So just because you get knocked out does not mean it's over. Keep trying so that way it will make your team better for next year. All right, and that gets us into our wheel of torture here. I won last week, so no one gets any of my players. I'm not dropping any players this week. This is great because I just can't afford, with 2 weeks left, to do that. I am only 1 game back of playoffs, so I have to spin this wheel regardless. However, hopefully this one does not screw me over. All right, time to spin the wheel here. You got it spinning, got it spinning, got it spinning. Oh no. It has landed on Hot Chip. So if I lose this week, I have to do the one Hot Chip challenge, which I guess doesn't really hurt my playoff chances if I were to drop a player, but will burn my mouth and ruin my intestines for a couple days. Unfortunate, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Or I guess at this point, how the chip crumbles. Let's just get into the next one. All right, that's going to get us into our last part of the episode. We're going to go over next week's games with a lot of playoff implications on the line, a lot of seeding on the line. So let's just see how this one goes. The first game, I'm going to label it as the game of the week. We have the I Put the Trash in Trash Pandas versus Abe Lincoln's Rusty Trombone. This is a very important game with high playoff implications. A win here would give Trash Pandas a tying record with Abe Lincoln, and they would have a tiebreaker over them too, which would hop them into a playoff spot. This means Abe Lincoln will have to put in a strong performance this week to stay in the playoff bracket with 2 weeks left. So very crucial again. Even if Nick's team, the Rusty Trombones, loses, you still have a chance for next week if I were to lose. But just win here, and you're pretty much solidified for a playoff spot at that point. The next one we have is the Big Tree City Big Bears versus the Hogwarts Wizards. Allison's looking to possibly clinch the 1 seed again if Christian and El Hamburglar lose this week, and Allison wins. She gets the 1 seed. Nick is 4-8. However, he's not yet mathematically eliminated. Just needs to keep on winning and have some luck. Or, at this point, he could just be playing spoiler and hope for a good turnout again in the consolation bracket. He was last year's consolation bracket. Unfortunately, Allison hit him in the lead pipe. Week 1, Christian McCaffrey's first overall pick done. And hopefully it does not repeat itself. Apparently, we have not had a really good luck with people's first overall picks in the past, with Christian missing his 2 years ago, and then with the lead pipe this week. So, who knows there. Then we have Lauren's Optimum team versus the Tevat Tanks. Again, Lauren is one of the teams that are 1 game back from a potential playoff spot, going up against Bot. This is a great week to go up against Bot, of course. However, it will be interesting, and you'd think this would be a give-me win with how he's been in the past several weeks. However, we got to remember that Bot's team is a top team, or was a top team until the bye week started hitting. His players started getting benched, and he didn't play them because he can't change his lineups. And now is one of the most times to play spoiler, which Bot could potentially do there. He also is not mathematically eliminated just yet, but I don't see him get into the playoffs. It's going to be a really tough, slippery slope with a lot of things that need to happen for those 4-8 teams to get in. We then have Banditos versus Bin Laden Bombers. Bin Laden is looking to stay alive with his record being a SEAL team 6-6. He's had 3 teams behind him looking to steal his spots, so a loss would be devastating this week. Brandon, again, is mathematically eliminated from playoff contention, but can look to play spoiler here and wreak havoc to people's seasons, especially this week. Derrick Henry is on a bye with the Ravens, so we're looking for a backup running back to take that spot. Probably Bucky Irving is a good pick to put there for him and see where that flex goes. So maybe, Bin Laden isn't in a heap of trouble, but losing the second highest rusher in the season could hurt his chances here. We'll see how that plays off there. We then have Red Lobster Cheddar Biscuits versus Kevin James Hot. Kevin James Hot looking to stay hot. He's scored 170 points or more in the last several weeks. But don't count out the Red Lobster Cheddar Biscuits. Obviously, they were having a good win streak there before not starting Joe Burrow. And yes, Joe Burrow is back at the starting quarterback position from this week. He only has 1 game back, so he could really squeeze into that playoff spot with some help. So hopefully, wins here that will push him through. We then have Jack Sparrow's tight end versus Kevin's awesome team. Jack Sparrow had a very, very rough week last week and has lost his 1 seed. With tiebreakers, he is 3, tied with Daniel, even though they are tied for the same record. He does have the tiebreaker over Allison, so a win here and Allison and Daniel loss could propel him back into that 1st seed with all the tiebreakers that are in place. For Kevin, this is very important. Kevin is now 6-6, and at risk of dropping out of the playoff picture with a loss here. So you got to give your all here. He's going against a juggernaut of an offense in Jack Sparrow's tight ends, but as you saw last week, there's always a chance for a 70-point week if your cards, fall wrongly. Is wrongly a word? In the last game we have is El Hamburglar versus I Paid My Taxes. El Hamburglar is now the second seed with tiebreakers over Christian. He had the 1 seed 2 weeks ago, so he had some form of a tiebreaker over Allison. A win here and an Allison loss would put him back into the driver's seat. However, a loss here and an Allison win would make that impossible. And with a Christian loss, again, would give Allison the 1 seed. So that's all I have for this week. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Remember, there are 3 Thanksgiving games this week. We have the Lions and the Bears starting at 12. At 4:30, we have Giants versus Cowgirls. And at 8:20, Packers versus Dolphins. And then a special Black Friday game starting at 3 p.m., Chiefs versus Raiders. So please remember to start checking your lineups. Very important at this point in the season to make sure all your lineups are set up. Again, have a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels. And just remember, if a very nice Native American helps you out by teaching you about crops and how to fish, please do not return the favor by giving them disease-ridden blankets and stealing their land. So thank you. Have some stuffing, have some turkey, and I will see you all next week.
思い出して私が命をかけるからあなたは自分をくれたのでしょうあらゆる望みの全てを叶えたらあなたに会いたい星に願いをかけて